Good evening, race fans. Welcome to tonight's FEG PC.net Truck Series, coming to you live from Kentucky Speedway. As always, I'm James East with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, pushing out the action 1080p, 60 frames a second every Monday night here at the FEG PC Series. Right now, single car qualifying is underway. We're going to take an eye at Jeffrey Radke. Radke's been putting down great times so far in practice. Going to see what we can put down in qualifying here. But it's looking like it's going to be another great race as these competitors take the field here at Kentucky. It's going to be 100 laps around the Speedway. Everybody's on fixed setups tonight, 65% fuel allotment. So a very equal playing field that comes down to drivers entirely. So it's going to be a good round. Right now, a lot of fun things have been happening in the points. Current points leader Matthew Lee not taking the field tonight. Not sure if Lee has something going on. Can't make the race tonight. Not quite sure what it might be, but Lee has been gone. He's went 3 for 3 so far in this segment of the series. The FEG PC guys, they break down their series into 2 different segments. So we are on segment 2 right now. So that's going to really shake things up tonight. It's going to give other guys a good chance to get back in the points, maybe make something happen here. But Matthew Lee, he's been the dominant driver so far, so it's going to be odd. This will be the one race of the segment he has not made. Most of these drivers have hit every round they possibly can get to. We're watching live. Cody McCauley, he's on top of a provisional pole with a 30.89. Lebowski puts in a 31.01. Bonwell, that's going to be Josh with a 31.2. Jeffrey Radke, though, that's who we're currently watching right now in the 51 machine, only puts down a 31.08, so not quite able to come to grips. We'll see what it is this time around by the line. No, Radke not able to do it. Does a 31.26 that time by. Chad Ross in the 38 Chevy, he's put down a 31.14 so far in qualifying. His best was a 31.02, so I think right now he's getting out there, getting a little bit more seat time, trying to come to grips with everything. From my understanding, after talking to the drivers and their haulers before we went out for qualifying, they were expecting a night race tonight. I believe something happened with the scheduling. They had to switch it up just a little bit. So the track's going to be a little bit greasier than what they planned on. Generally, a colder track means a little bit more traction, a little bit more room to play with things. But with this warmer, hotter track, it's going to really shake things up just a little bit here tonight. As always, if you're watching from across the country, we love seeing you in the chat. Let us know where you're from, who you're cheering for, and what the fan favorite is tonight. Things are definitely shaking up since Lee's not able to make it. I mean, is it going to be McCullough on top tonight? He's a very strong points runner. Or could it be somebody different? Is Jay Dargert in the 57 machine going to be able to score a top 5? A lot of questions remain to be answered here as qualifying slowly ticks away. You see Chad Ross bringing into pit lane after a very good qualifying run from him. All right, that's going to do it for qualifying. Let's get ready to take it to the grid for tonight's feature. Up front, you've got Cody McCauley, Lebowski in second, Michael J. Johnson third, Josh Bonwell will be starting fourth, Eric Parks in fifth, Chad Ross in sixth, Jay Dargert in seventh, Jeffrey Radke will be starting eighth to ninth, James Roth ninth, Kyle Rochelle will be in 10th, Stephen Page 11th, Cale Seaman will be in 12th place tonight. James Kaufman 13th, Joshua Doobie 14th. You got Mr. Grande in 15th, Derek Fulton 16th, Matthew Curry starting 17th on the board, Donald Stewart 18th, Kenneth McCullough Jr. 19th, Joseph Burgess 20th, TJ O'Hare in 21st, Anthony Reiner in 22nd to round out our field tonight. So pretty big grid, expecting a lot of good stuff to happen here. We're going to get ready to form all the drivers up and get ready to send them out here at Kentucky. As always, major thanks to the guys over at FEGPC.net for putting this show on. They provide the leading computers you can get out there if you're a sim enthusiast. So be it DCS, iRacing, flight sim, anything that's really intensive, or iRacing broadcasting. They've got the rigs to get you out there and make it happen. So check them out, FEGPC.net. Spectacular computers for an affordable price, especially considering everything that's been going on with the craziness of the world with Corona and computer components. Those guys able to make it happen and keep the prices fair. So big ups to those guys. And they put on races every week. They've got the Monday Truck Series. They've got the Wednesday Cup Series. A very well-run professional league on the iRacing service. Couldn't be here without those guys. So thank y'all as always. These drivers are going to get ready on pit road for the opening ceremony. They're going to wait for the pace car to roll out, and then we're going to get this party started. 100 laps around Kentucky. Generally, these guys are very, very good racers. A lot of green flag runs around this speedway. So expecting to see more tonight out of the drivers as we see Cody McCauley leave the pits. Lebowski as we get ready to rack the field here. We might have something going on, a development here. We're taking a couple look of drivers' names. We do have a development. We're going to get this updated for you, but this is going to be very interesting. So things have not been shaken up as much as we thought. So right now you'll see the 04 machine, the Big Lebowski is what it reads on live timing and scoring. Well, who that actually is fan favorite current points leader Matthew Lee. So Matthew updated his name in live timing and scoring, and it picked it up before we noticed it. So he put his name as the Big Lebowski. So well done, Matthew Lee, for getting us with that one. That was extremely funny. So Lebowski, a.k.a. Matthew Lee, he's going to be starting second tonight. Cody McCauley up front. Michael J. Johnson in third. Bonwell fourth. Parks in fifth. But away we go as McCauley gets a good lunge down the outside. You're going to see Lee riding the high line in that 04 machine. Then try and drop back low and get into the mix of it here. For the most part, the field's still running 2x2. They take a hint at going 3 wide. Lee says, hey, I want up there. I want in the mix, but not quite able to make it happen so far. Johnson running in second. He's chasing down McCauley. And a swarm of drivers there behind him. So it's going to be McCauley out front, Johnson, Lee, Bonwell, Parks is our top 5. As we're starting to see the field get a little bit single file, kind of fall into place here. And they're going to try and click off some laps and see how long they can run it before those tires fall off on this very hot speedway here tonight. So far, so good. McCauley's getting a great, great run. He's our fastest truck out there with a 37.7 his last time by. Johnson behind him doing a great job. And look at Matthew Lee, puts down a 31.10. He's got a little bit of pace, using all the apron to his advantage in that 04 machine. He's all over the back of Michael J. Johnson, the 39 Toyota. Right now, Toyota going 1, 2, and 3 on the opening laps, followed by a Chevrolet in fourth with Mr. Josh Bonwell behind the wheel. And then a Ford in 5th with Eric Parks wheeling the number 8 machine. Looks like that top 3 staying very, very close together. Back here in 7th, we've got fan favorite Jay Dargert. He's running the number 57 paint scheme tonight. He's chased by Jeffrey Radke. For the most part, the field's been pretty consistent where they're at. Everybody's usually within 1 or 2 spots of where they started. Derek Fulton currently in 12th. He's up 4 spots, originally qualified in 16th in the FEG PC sponsored number 7 Chevrolet. A very sharp looking paint scheme on that machine tonight. Great racing from front to back here. You see guys all wheeling for position. Let's see, I think that's, there's Jeffrey Radke. Behind him, Kyle Rochelle is fending off James Roth and Stephen Page. It's a tough point in the run. Everybody's trying to vie for a position, but you don't want to push too hard too early and kind of shag those tires. Great run from everybody here tonight. Normally, if we're going to see a caution, it's very early on into the run. I'm sorry what we're going to do. We're going to put you in on board with Mr. Michael J. Johnson. He's chasing down Cody McCauley while also battling with Matthew Lee. We're just going to listen on board for a lap so you can appreciate how hard these guys are pushing. That's on board with Michael J. Johnson. He's running second in his Toyota, the 39 machine. Gives you an idea of how heavy these guys are lifting early on to a run, trying to save a little bit of tire wear. It's all a game of averages here. How long can you keep the lowest possible lap time before your tires start to fall off? Already we're seeing competitors about a half second slower than their best of the session. Only 8 laps in, but everybody's doing really well and running single file, just willing to click off some laps here. Utmost professionalism out there. Here comes Matthew Lee. He's making a run on Johnson right now. He's got the drive. Is he going to dive low and see if he can make it happen? He's hinting at it. Johnson's going to run a little bit higher than he has been in the past, but is that going to pinch Johnson down on the bottom line? No, Johnson's going to hold the position. Lee goes back up into the draft and might be kind of measuring out his competitors here. Lee going very far below the double yellow there. Not sure if that's going to be a league rule or not, if it is allowed or frowned upon. But he is going to get the drive past Michael J. Johnson on this back straight. Johnson just at his rear or his side door. It looks like Lee is going to get the spot there in the position. So now Johnson's got to continue with contend with Josh Bonwell in the number 56 Chevrolet. He's running 4th right now, exactly where he started. So right now your top 6 is in their positions of where they started in the race. So where these guys qualified from 1st to 6th is where they're currently at on the board. Good racing so far here tonight. Johnson's kind of looking at that outside, maybe see if he can get a different line working against Lee. We've got racing all over the racetrack right now. You're watching James Roth in the 44. He's followed by Matthew Curry and a whole bunch of drivers. Stephen Page is there, Cale Seaman, James Kaufman, Anthony Reiner, all battling for that 11th to 16th spot. Everybody's running very close, but not so close they're worried about bumping into each other and causing carnage out here on the racetrack. It's a very massive line of trucks here in Kentucky. Very impressed. I've got to say, for out of the FEG PC Truck Series races, I believe this is the longest we've had an initial start with no caution. So the driver's doing a very good job getting around this racetrack tonight. Last week we were at Gateway, Iowa Worldwide Technology Raceway. Earlier than that, we were at Charlotte and Daytona for a doubleheader. All three of those races were won by Matthew Lee in the 04 machine. Right now, though, Cody McCauley's looking good. He's running very strong out front. McCauley, this is his second race of the season. So his very first race was last week, where he started in third and finished in third at Gateway Oval. He had a very clean race, 0 incidents with 0 laps led as well. So, I mean, for a new contender in the series, he's doing very, very well. And finishes like that, or if he can consistently stay in front of Matthew Lee, will very help out with his points chase championship here. Here at FEG PC, when they have full grids, if you win the series, it's a $1,000 bonus. If you get second, it's $250. Third, it's $250, as well as awarding another $250 to a random driver in the field. So when they have full grids, you have a chance of bringing home some money, even if you're not in the top 3. So that's what attracts so many professional drivers out here. Cody McCauley, he's got a 4,600 I rating on the I rating service. Matt Lee, he's got 6,100. Third place, Michael J. Johnson, 5,700. So all these drivers extremely fast and very, very good at what they do. All these drivers put in the work week in and week out, getting the practice times dialed in, get as much seat time as they can. So when they show up on Monday night for the Truck Series or Wednesday for the Cup Series, they have a very good shot of putting themselves in the forefront. Next week it'll be fun too. We're going to Pocono Speedway for 50 laps. And then the week after that, Road America for the full course. That'll be 25 laps around the road course. This will be the first road course I've had the pleasure of calling with the FEG PC Racers. I'm extremely excited to see who might be the dark horse. Is Matthew Lee an all-around great driver? Is ovals, road kind of his thing? Or is it going to be a newcomer that comes out there and does a spectacular job and switches things up just a little bit? I'm very excited. I don't know if the drivers are excited or if they're got a little bit of dread as we get ready for that race. Matthew Lee on the official iRacing service is only a D-class driver with a 14, we'll call it a 1,500 I rating. So doesn't do a whole lot of road racing on the iRacing service. For comparison, he has 2,700 official oval starts. Not counting league races, just on the iRacing official races themselves, he's got 2,700. Compared to the 12 starts he has for road racing. So Lee, not a road professional judging by the stats, but he's an all-around very, very good driver, very clean driver. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do for that upcoming Road America race. I'm extremely excited to see what happens. Right now, though, you've got Matthew Lee in the 04 machine pressuring Cody McCauley, seeing what the newcomer can carry. Lee's a very smart racer. He might be pushing McCauley a little bit more here, saying, all right, let's see if the young man, we know he has the speed. Does he have the race strategy? Can he maintain tire wear? Can he worry about his fuel window? Because right now McCauley is burning up more fuel than Lee, since Lee has the draft at his advantage. Johnson in third place has fallen off just a little bit. His last time by was about a 1/10 of a second slower than Matthew Lee. And Lee was actually the fastest lap on that last time by. He did a 32.9. But McCauley's picking up the pace, clicks off a 32.86. 20 laps in, though, you can see tire wear definitely becoming an issue for these drivers. As we continuously have battles all across the field. That's Josh Bonwell at the 56, Chad Ross at 38. They're going to go too wide. Right in front of them, you got Eric Parks in the number 8 machine. And here comes Jeffrey Radke. He's going to drop in low in the number 51, followed by Kyle Rochelle as well. So a lot of racing going on from first all the way back to 10th is what we're watching right now. The battle for 5th, excuse me. As Jeffrey Radke, Kyle Rochelle, they're currently battling for 6th place going side by side. Oh, Rochelle diving down the inside. Does Radke have anything for him, or is he going to say, no, you can have this spot, we'll worry about the long run? Radke right now doing a great job. He's keeping Rochelle pinched down the bottom of that race line. It's definitely not the fastest way around. You want to kind of drift up the racetrack, carry a little bit of speed. And another double-edged sword there is it keeps the tire wear really working on Rochelle's tires. When you're forced to hold that low line in Kentucky, it kind of wears out your tires just a little bit more. And again, all these drivers on the exact same car, so unlike real NASCAR, where you've got a budget difference between the top teams and guys that are just coming out there, all these guys on identical equipment, so it really comes down to a driver's race. Who is the most comfortable going round and around as fast as they possibly can on the ragged edge of traction? But right now, this field has broken down in single file just a little bit now, so we'll go back up. Look at Matthew Lee. He's dropped off a little bit from Cody McCauley in first. It's a little uncharacteristic, so Lee might have been pacing and watching his friend out front, McCauley, and saying, all right, I know I have the pace. Let's go back to tire saving mode for just a little bit. Great shot of Cody McCauley's on board in the Delta 9 sponsored 62 Toyota. Gives you an idea of how close these guys try and get to the apron when they can help it. But overall, very impressive. This has got to be one of the cleanest runs we've seen of the season so far. Everyone's doing a fantastic job putting out some blistering laps. I'm not quite sure what the pit window is going to be. It's 65% fuel wear. But more importantly, drivers are going to be looking at tire wear. They're already 2 seconds off their pace, their personal best of the race, 26 laps in. So I'm not sure if we're going to see a lap 30 pit strategy, some guys going for 2 stops, or if we're going to see guys doing the long haul, stay out as long as they possibly can, and try and make this a one-stop race. As a broadcaster and a racer, I love seeing green flag strategies. It allows these guys to work on strategies a little bit, seeing a couple of different varied plans around the speedway. It makes it a little bit more exciting. When you have a field full of yellows, it's consistently everybody's on the same set of tires. Everybody's always going out. It's a bunch of mini sprint races with nothing really getting shaken up too much. With green flag runs, you can see people win or lose a race just on strategy. As Matthew Lee's gained a little bit of time up to Cody McCauley. McCauley ran a 33.33 that last time by compared to Matthew Lee's 33.22. So Lee did pick up a tenth of a second on that run. Michael Johnson, he clicked off the same time as Matthew Lee, but he's about a second back from Lee and about 1.2 seconds back from current race leader Cody McCauley. So Lee is going to start working on McCauley, maybe try and get him to use up a little bit more of that traction reserve he has in that set of tires. So 30 laps in, these guys are running very well. Look at Eric Parks, the number 8 machine. He's trying to fend off Chad Ross, run the high line. Behind him, he's also got Kyle Rochelle, Jeffrey Radke, and Jay Dargert all in the mix here. So this is a pack of about 4 or 5 cars all battling for 4th. Going too wide behind him. That's going to be Chad Ross and Rochelle making it too wide. So Rochelle's the number 15 machine running the low line. Chad Ross and the 38, he's on the high line. They've been side by side for several laps now. Neither driver willing to yield any. Rochelle doesn't have any sponsors on the number 15 machine tonight. He's running the pure blown privateer effort. So this is Rochelle's second race as well. So Kyle's doing a great job keeping up there. at Gateway Oval, his first race last week. He led a single lap. He started in 9th and finished in 6th, so very respectable finish. I think people take it kind of for granted that they're used to seeing guys, you know, or feel like you can hop into a simulator or a video game and quickly get out there and push up front, but these are real people from across the world that put in real man hours on testing and tuning and just getting more and more practice whenever they can. We're going to see our pit strategy start to develop. Josh Bonwell was the first car in. Kyle Rochelle, Jeffrey Radke, they came into pit lane together. So on lap 32, we're going to see some pit strategy develop. Not sure if we're going to see one or two stop race runs kind of change up. Right now, race leaders Cody McCauley and Matthew Lee are running about 2 seconds off their pace. But there comes McCauley. He's going to come into pit lane on lap 32, excuse me. It'll be 33 this time by. So let's see, McCauley's in. Does Matthew Lee come in this time by? Hard to tell. Matthew Lee, he's a very good strategist. He is going to come this time by. So put himself almost a lap of a large portion of the field. And then he's going to try and come in and make something happen. Matthew Lee coming in. Michael J. Johnson following in tow. Matthew Curry coming in. A lot of fast drivers. So we'll see where things are as the field gets back out there and shake things up. Everybody's going to take full fuel and 4 fresh Goodyears on their machines. Oh, no, I think that's Chad Ross. May have missed his pit box. No, that's Michael J. Johnson. Had to back up the 39 machine and make a little bit of a correction. Matthew Lee, he's heading out. But what is the race lead going to be like? I think it's going to be Cody McCauley out front. And then Matthew Lee's going to follow in tow. So Cody McCauley, our new race leader on a little bit fresher tires. McCauley came in lap 170, on lap 32. Lee came in on 33. Josh Bonwell, he's currently running second. He went for the undercut. He came in on lap 25. So it's looking like it's going to be a 2-stop race. We might expect to see drivers come in around that lap 65 to 75 window, depending on what they're feeling. Cody McCauley doing a good job. He's clicking off some laps. The newcomer went for a little bit of an undercut, and so far it seems to be paying off as he does his personal best lap time of the race with a 31:14. So a very, very good run there. He's got the pace. Matthew Lee, his best was a 31:10, but he only clicked off a 31.3. So now you can see a little bit of tire wear coming into play and tire strategy coming into play. As these guys know, hey, we need to make this thing last as long as we can. Try and keep that that average speed as low as we can without losing too much time to the guys behind us. But right now, McCauley's got about a 2.1 second gap over to second place Matthew Lee. So Lee, last time by, clicked off a 31.52, about a 1/10 of a second faster than race leader Cody McCauley. So if he can keep that pace up, he has a good chance in the next 10, 20 laps to really, really catch up quickly. But tire wear is going to be the name of the game today. Right now, a little bit of a race for third kind of coming into play. Kyle Rochelle in the number 15 machine. His last pit was on lap 31. He's followed by Jeffrey Radke in the 51, also pitted on the 31 lap. A lot of guys doing a great job. They're carrying about 180 miles an hour trap speed around that back straight. And the field's fairly stretched out here, so everybody's driving very, very smart, very, very safe. Matthew Lee, he's got a little bit of traffic behind him. I think that may be lap traffic behind him. It is. About 18 drivers still in the lead lap. Right now you've got Kenneth McCullough Jr. He's still running. He's a lap down. James Kaufman is a lap down. Still out there. Joshua Doobie, though, looks like he's showing as a DNF or a DNS. And TJ O'Haron also having problems and not staying out there. There are a bunch of tropical storms that have been hitting the East Coast. I've been no stranger to that. I'm living in Georgia, and we've been seeing a bunch of it here. So some of these guys dealing with internet problems from across the country due to that storm. So you hate to see that for our two drivers of Joshua Doobie and TJ O'Haron, just not able to get out there tonight and not helping their points chase home much either. James Kaufman, the 25 machine, definitely having a rough night tonight. You see the outside, that Flex Seal sponsored truck has taken a beating. Not quite sure where that came from that put him a lap down. He only was in the pits he was in the pits for a long time, for 1 minute and 7 seconds, his last pit window. So he was coming in, getting some damage repaired. Kyle Rochelle's going to make his way around, driving the inside. Last thing Rochelle wants to do right now is mix it up too hard with lap traffic and risk damaging that beautiful number 15, the all-white tonight. As always, everybody that's tuned in from across the globe, thank you so much for tuning in to Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Always bringing you the action, 1080p, 60 frames a second. For those that give our videos a likes and they give us a follow, we greatly appreciate it. We couldn't do it without you, and every time you guys do that, share it on Facebook, wherever your social media may be. I know we got a lot of fans, family, and friends from across the world cheering on their favorite drivers. That helps out the drivers immensely. It helps out with them procuring sponsorships. Helps the league grow, so you guys help make this. We can't thank you enough. Matthew Lee making his way around traffic. That's the 03 of Kenneth McCullough Jr. Not having the best of night in that Realtree sponsored truck in the 03 Chevrolet. Not quite sure what happened to McCullough Jr. this early on to have that bad of a luck and find himself sitting in 19th position, 1 lap down. His pit time showed normal, so I'm not sure if he had a different problem or just not having the night he wanted here at Kentucky. But McCullough, always a very fast, consistent driver, a Georgia native. He knows what it takes to run up front, but just not having the night tonight. Hate to see that from McCullough Jr. Cody McCullough, he's got a little bit of lap traffic behind him now. He's going to try and, I believe that is the number 19 of Joseph Burgess. He's going to get a tow from the leader. Burgess a lap down. Also pitting around that lap 32 window. So on the same set of tires, just might have come in a little bit later behind Lee or McCauley. The question is here tonight, though, ladies and gentlemen, can Matthew Lee make it 4 in a row in the 04 machine? Or will relative newcomer Cody McCauley in the 62 Toyota be able to upset the current points leader? Now, McCauley's got a lot of work to do if he wants to try and get into the points chase championship. He's very, very far behind right now, but I mean, if he can keep having races like this, it's going to at least ease the pain, get a little bit closer to Matthew Lee, our current points leader. Now, McCauley, he is down 108 points from current champion or points leader Matthew Lee. He's 17 points behind the next position, 19th Buddy Pitt. So, no, excuse me, that's going to be Josh Doobie he's right behind. So McCauley 21st in points, but right now he's on top of the leaderboard, showing it how it's done. We'll take a look at the timing tower here. McCauley out front, Lee about 1.75 seconds behind, Rochelle 4.5 seconds, Radke 6 seconds, Johnson 9. I mean, not a very tight race so far, but this run's going to be a tire-saving strategy. It's going to be all about who's staying out the longest and clicking off good lap times. Matthew Lee did at 32.6 the last time by. McCauley did at 32.78. We know Lee is a very good tire-saving driver. We've seen him turn off the engine and do a few other weird things at racetrack, trying to squeeze the most amount out of those tires he can. But as we get ready to pass the halfway mark, or hit the halfway mark, Cody McCauley still out front. We're going to run to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with more action. Welcome back to the action here at Kentucky. Thanks again to FEGPC.net for sponsoring multiple leagues here. They put on a fantastic show. Always very good, clean racing. As we see, we're past the halfway mark, and everybody's doing a fantastic job keeping it clean, keeping it green. So always a great, great time here at the FEGPC Truck Series. Don't forget, you can join in on the action. FEGPC.net. They've got league signups. They've got links to their custom computer builds for all their customers. And there's still plenty of racing to get up here in the mix and get back out there. Right now, we're joined in the booth by Jay Dargert, fan favorite in the number 57 machine. Jay, do you read me?
Got a copy, James. How are you?
Jay, I'm doing well, sir. You're running a very clean race out there in the 57 machine. How's the truck feeling right now?
Yeah, we're just trying to save tires. I got a couple teammates, one in front of me, a couple up ahead of us. Just trying to save the tires for the long run. We were a little short on that first run, so we got to eke a few extra laps out of it. I don't know if catching Matthew and I can't remember the guy's name up in the lead there is going to be in the cards, but yeah, we're going to play it out here, see what happens, and save some tires and try to run a complete full tank through it.
Awesome, Jay. We're cheering you on up here from the broadcast booth. I know you got fans from across the world always cheering in, so we'll let you get back to going fast and turning left.
James, have a good one up there. Be safe, and we'll talk to you later.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Jay. That's Jay Dargert, the number 57 machine. Always a great guy to talk to. He's a lot of fun and just an all-around great guy, so we appreciate him having the moment to get in the booth despite holding on for dear life. So always great seeing him. But look up front right now. You've got Cody McCauley in frame. Matthew Lee chasing him down. So as this run develops, Lee is whittled away at that lead. He's down to a 0.8 second gap behind current race leader Cody McCauley. So we may have a race forming up here as we're approach lap 58 next time. Bye. But man, very, very good racing tonight. Everybody's keeping it very clean, very green. And then we're seeing some pit strategies develop. You heard Jay Dargan, the 57 machine, going, you know, I didn't stretch that run out as much as I wanted to. We need to stay out a little bit longer this time. Bye. So Dargan, he pitted around the lap 32 mark. So we're expecting to see him come back in maybe around the lap 70. Josh Bonwell, he's going to start his pit cycle a little bit early on lap 58. So Bonwell pitted earlier on in the run as well. So not sure if he's going for a different strategy or just thinking to himself, this isn't a whole lot of fun to drive once this tire wear comes in so badly. So Bonwell going to lose a whole lot of positions there. He was in 8th. He's going to work his way back, but he may be able to make his way back towards the end of the run, especially if that tire strategy comes into play. Or if we might have cautions mix things up, it's still anybody's guess. It just takes one mistake from a driver. Truck gets tight, hits the wall, has a little bit of a problem. You see Cody McCauley, he's getting through lap traffic there. And again, it just takes one guy having a little bit of a mistake and it can really mess things up. That's Jeffrey Radke, I think they were getting by. No, not Radke. We got 2 number 51s out there. Not quite sure who that was. That's Matthew Curry. Lap time and scoring shows him as 54, but his paint scheme is 51 today, so he's got a little bit of problem. That's going to put him a lap down. But every time McCauley's got to deal with this lap traffic, it gives the advantage to Lee. It slows McCauley down just a little bit. He's about 2 seconds, a little over 2 seconds off his personal best pace. Lee gained almost a 1/10 of a second that last lap. The other benefit is once McCauley punches through that initial traffic, it alerts those guys and says, all right, the faster guys are starting to come through here. I need to keep an eye out for what's going on behind me. So that's going to make it easier for Matthew Lee because lap traffic's already aware, hey, the fast guys are coming through. I need to keep an eye out. But look at that. Cody McCauley gets right on the back of the number 7 machine. That's Derek Fulton, currently one of the fastest Canadian out there right now in the number 7. So McCauley's going to use that draft of lap traffic to the best of his advantage, but Matthew Lee is getting closer and closer here. Lee is going to have to be stuck to the bottom line for just a second. And here comes McCauley. Now he's got, I believe that's Donald Stewart right in front of him. It is in the number 78 Ford, the Remington-sponsored machine. McCauley's definitely using that draft to his advantage, try and eke out a little bit more speed. He knows Lee's right behind him, only 0.3 seconds separate current race leader Cody McCauley, Matthew Lee. McCauley's going to want to try and make quick work out of this lap traffic. Great racing tonight from everybody. Very, very glad to see it. So number 78, that's going to be Donald Stewart. Gets out of the way. He sees the race for the lead going on right in front of him now. But Matthew Lee's eked down that gap to 0.12 seconds in closing. So now you're going to see these guys stay out together for as long as they can. They're on pretty much identical pit strategies. McCauley came in on lap 32. Lee came in on lap 33. So I think these guys are going to stay out as long as they can. Try and eke down some fuel. We're expecting him up. Oh, Lee hints at an inside pass. Can he make it stick? Yes, McCauley's going to follow into second now. But let's see how the tire strategy and the pit strategy plays out. Who's going to come in first here? If I had a guess, it's going to be McCauley, but... And both of these guys have a very big gap on third place. That's Michael J. Johnson. McCauley's going to come in. Lee's going to stay out. Johnson, a 39 machine. He's also in a Toyota. Didn't have the best pit time. We saw him miss his stall and have to back up earlier. He was 4 seconds slower in his pit stall than the rest of the field, which is a very, very big hit. So now we're going to watch how long does McCauley stay out? How long does Matthew Lee in the 04 machine stay out? So Matthew Lee is going to get a lap led here. Johnson's going to eke up to second, but both of those top two still have to take a pit stop to make it to the end. Matthew Lee, he's putting down 33.25s right now. Johnson put down 33.83, so over 2.5 seconds slower for these competitors compared to their personal best. Lets you know just how much these tires fall off after a 30-lap run. And this is where things can get really exciting. You've got guys on very fresh Ford Goodyear tires and full fuel. Matthew Lee, he's coming into pit lane. So these guys with fresh tires will be mixed in with guys that still haven't come in yet. The only people that have not come in yet is Jay Johnson, Cale Seaman, Donald Stewart. You're going to see Johnson coming in now. How are things going to shake up once this top 5 leaves the pit lane? Is McCauley going to work his way back up front? He should, since Matthew Lee's in the pits. Michael Johnson's in the pits. Cale Seaman's in the pits. These guys are all going to take full fuel for fresh Goodyears. Go back out for the final unofficial stage, I guess you can call it, for the pit window. Everybody's looking good on pit times right now. McCauley did a good one with a 15.25 second. His last time by Matthew Lee was a 14.85. So Lee's getting those pit stops just a little bit faster, but this is where things are going to get interesting. McCauley's going to show out front. He pitted on lap 65. Matthew Lee came in on lap 67. So McCauley has enough fuel to make it to the end. But if there's any sort of caution tonight, that can really mess things up, especially as it's towards the end. Some of these guys aren't going to have enough fuel to do a count for a green-white checker. We've got about 31 laps to go. It's going to be 30 this time by. McCauley has about a 4-second gap over second place Matthew Lee. Kyle Rochelle, he's moved his way up 7 spots tonight in the number 15 machine. Rochelle currently sitting 3rd place from where he, again, up 7 spots from where he originally started. He's doing a fantastic job getting up there in the mix. So a little bit more new names in the top 5 than we've seen in the past, which is always fun. It keeps things exciting. As much as we love Matthew Lee in the 04, we really love seeing people give him a run for his money. A lot of good friendships here at the FEG PC Series. Everybody's friends on and off the track, so even before race, after race, no matter when it is, Monday night for trucks, Wednesday night for cup cars, everybody's kind of poking fun at each other and watching the broadcast back together and having a good time. It's all about the friendships you make along the way. With private league racing, you get to build repertoires among your fellow racers. You get used to running together. You know what you can get away with as far as bump drafting and aggressive passing. And a lot of very good racing going on here tonight. Man, look at this big old battle. You've got Jay Dargert. He's running 10th place. He's down 3 spots from his initial start. Behind him, Jose Medina, James Roth, Donald Stewart, Derek Fulton, all in the mix. So this is the battle for 10th right now. So again, even if you're not up front in that top 5, you're still back here racing somebody, giving it your all. And that's race leader Cody McCauley. He's coming through and lapping the field here. Looks like he's getting by James Roth pretty clean. Oh, it's going to be Jose Medina on the outside of McCauley right now. Then McCauley also, oh, a big move. That was Jose Medina dropping back in line in front of the race leader. McCauley's got to play it safe here. As much as he wants to get back on the loud pedal and put down some laps and some time between him and second place Matthew Lee, he has to be very careful not to involve himself in any risky moments here. Right now, it's his race to lose. He's got great pace, so he's got to get by these lap cars cleanly. However, these guys are also battling for position. Jose Medina, Jay Dargert are in a race of their own. That's the battle for 10th. All of these guys want to bring home a top 10 as they go 2 by 2. Dargert, Medina, you've got McCauley running the inside line, trying to get a tow from Dargert. Oh, McCauley, is he going to make it 3 wide? Here he is down the back straight. McCauley dives it down low. They're 3 wide, going for 3 and 4. This is the race leader with 2 trucks about to be a lap down. There goes Medina, going to dive down the inside. McCauley not able to make it stick against lap traffic. He has to be very, very careful here not to cook up his tires in a race that he's really doesn't need to be in. He still has 3.4 seconds, 3.3 seconds over second place Matthew Lee. Has to be very, very careful not to cook tires here. He's run the inside line trying to make some passes, but that inside line, if you have to hold it all the way around, can cook up tires. Right now, though, he is on the preferred line, allowing that race truck to drift up the race line out to the inside wall before you swoop back down through the tri-oval. Dargert, he's the lap down now, gonna try and catch a toe from McCauley, maybe watch and see, all right, this is what McCauley's doing. We're in the same equipment. How can I mimic these lines and put down some good, clean laps? So McCauley gets through 1 truck, 1 lap down, which is very, very good. But man, that got a little bit hairy there for a second. That was a moment. I'm going to have a drink of water. And I'm going to have to relax myself here a little bit. This is stressful even in the booth. We want to see all these guys do well. We want to see guys run clean races. It's really tough to pick favorites. Everybody's so friendly here at the FEG PC Leagues. They're always very welcoming to a broadcaster hopping in, interrupting their practice and qualifying time so I can take down my notes for the broadcast. Oh, there goes Dargert. He's on the inside line now. Again, if you're just tuning in, first of all, where you been? Welcome. But second of all, this is not the race for the lead right now. This is Dargert trying to keep himself on the lead lap. So Dargert's hoping for a caution that can stack the field back up. But while McCauley's busy battling these current racers, that's allowing Matthew Lee to will away at that gap. He's only 3.10 seconds and decreasing, trying to get back to current race leader McCauley. Man, a stack of drivers in front of McCauley. McCauley's doing great. He clicked off a 32.89 that time by. Matthew Lee slowed down a little bit. He's now 3-second gap, so he had only a 1-second gap at one point, but he seemed to have dropped or lost 2 seconds somehow. Now McCauley, though, he's still got a long night. It's 20 laps ahead of him, but he's got a lot of lap cars in front of him that are excuse me, not lap cars, but soon to be lap cars. I mean, that's a great frame right there. It shows how many trucks are in front of McCauley. McCauley, our current race leader, doing a fantastic job. He's following Jose Medina and Jay Dargert. And very interesting, we see Josh Bonwell coming in once more. So Bonwell's been running very, very great. Comes in on like about a lap 20 to 25 pit window. So maybe he's going for a 4-stop strategy. So I think he's the only racer we see doing that right now. So he may be going out there going, you know what, I'm cooking off tires just way too much. I'd rather come in, put some tires on there and go back out. So he's only there for an 8-second pit window, so he might have only taken 2 tires there. McCauley still about a 1/10 of a second per lap over second place Matthew Lee. Kyle Rochelle, he's got his fair share of lap traffic now. That's the number 25 to the inside of the number 15. That is 1 lap down. Derek Fulton in the mix with that beautiful number 7 back to FEG PC race truck. He's a lap down as well. So Rochelle in 3rd place. He's about 10.6 seconds back from current race leader Cody McCauley. Right in front of Rochelle, though, he's got Donald Stewart. No, excuse me. That's going to be the number 25 machine. Of James Kaufman, and behind him he's got the number 7 of Derek Fulton. So Rochelle's surrounded by race trucks that he's not really in a race with, and you see a lot more lap traffic in front of him. So Rochelle, he's also in that same place. He's in a great opportunity here. He's up 7 spots. He has an opportunity to gain tons of points if he can finish in third tonight. But he has to be very, very careful around trucks that he's not really in a race with. Michael J. Johnson, I haven't talked about him in a little bit. He's down 2 spots from where he originally started, that number 39 machine, the Toyota, that light blue kind of teal paint scheme you see run the bottom line right now. Not having the race he wanted. He's battling for 5th place, currently running 5th, but Eric Parks behind him in that number 8 Ford. And that beautiful patriotic paint scheme. Parks wants that spot from Johnson. These guys clicking off very similar lap times. Parks was actually about 2/10 slower that last time by. But now he's got the draft from Johnson to try and eke his way back up. It's going to be 15 to go once these competitors cross the line. And McCauley still following those trucks right in front of him that are about a lap down. He's got a fleet of guys in front of him that he has to contend with if he wants to keep pushing the pace. Take a look at that onboard. 5 trucks in front of him, none of them for position. This is all trucks that he'd be putting a lap down if he decides to press the issue. He's got about a 1.3 second, a 1.4 second gap over 2nd place Matthew Lee. So right now, does he push it to try and extend that gap a little bit? Or is he in prime time tire saving mode around Kentucky Speedway? You can hear the heavy lifting. What it looks like right now is McCauley starting to reel in that pack. There's Jay Dargan at 57, Jose Medina in front of him. Those guys are battling for 9th place. McCauley, who is in 1st in the 62 machine, has almost lapped all the way up to 9th and 10th place. At one point, he was in the mix of it, going back and forth, maybe decide, you know what, this is way too risky. I need to back out. I'm using too much tire this late in the run. We need to save it. We got 14 laps to go, 13 as he crosses the line. And Matthew Lee's doing a good charge. He's running about just a little bit under a 10th faster than McCauley right now. Lee in 2nd place. He's won 3 out of 3 so far. If McCauley can bring it home in first tonight, that's going to be a huge upset. It's not going to hurt Lee that much as far as the points chase go, but it's going to really help out McCauley trying to whittle away at that points chase. Lee, though, man on a mission. He's got that time split about 1 second right now. That's a great shot. You see Matthew Lee trying to reel in McCauley, 1.10 seconds in front of him. McCauley going to have to take a measured approach here. Does he want to hammer down and try and get past this lap traffic? Because it looks like right now he's getting slowed down a bunch. The gap from 1st to 2nd's down to 9/10 of a second. McCauley has caught Jose Medina, who's currently running 10th place. And they're all over the racetrack in front of McCauley. McCauley's going to have to make something happen here while also keeping that 62 machine clean. Oh, this is about to be risky. McCauley, now he's behind Stephen Page. Page is number 1 machine. Page is in 10th place. McCauley's our race leader. It's a gentleman's rule to give the preferred line to the leader if you are not in a battle for position. So Page, he drops down the apron. He's going to let race leader McCauley go by. Matthew Lee, 0.8 seconds back. It'll be 10 to go at the line. Lee's in a good position just to watch for a couple more laps, but after that, he really needs to get going. As we see him getting on the pace already, he's dropped a bunch of time that last time by. A 10th of a second. I think it's going to be at least another 10th of a second once they cross the lifetime and scoring loop. McCauley, now he's right behind Jose Medina, Jay Dargan. Those guys are battling for 8th and 9th place respectively. Medina in the 24 machine, Dargan the 57, but race leader McCauley in the 62 Toyota. Trying to decide what's going to happen because he sees Matthew Lee in that rearview mirror. Lee is whittled away. It's only a 0.6 second gap. Lee gained almost 0.3 of a second that last lap. Not sure what the riders may be saying to the drivers may be saying to each other. But McCauley making a move on Jose Medina right there. Medina's running the high side in that teal number 24, the Tecate-sponsored machine. Matthew Lee's whittled away the gap. It's only a half second between race leader McCauley. Second place Matthew Lee. Michael Johnson, a very respectable third. He's got his own battle going on right now against Kyle Rochelle. Only about a quarter of a second separates third and fourth right now. Rochelle really wants that podium spot. But Johnson doing a very good job holding on to it. We're going to take you back out front, though. Things are about to get very interesting. It's a 0.3 second gap in closing between race leader and McCauley. And Matthew Lee running second. McCauley still battling with lap traffic. He also has tire wear that's definitely got to be going on. Who saved the best tires here? Did McCauley burn up a little bit too much traction battling with lap traffic, or did Lee did such a good job saving it? Matthew Lee, it's less than a tenth of a second, separates our top two. Lee's going to run the high line. McCauley's on the low line. Nobody has really any room to go here. So many trucks in front of him that are a lap down. Look at Matthew Lee, gets a good run. Dives to the apron. McCauley's going to throw a block. Lee goes all the way down the inside. Over the double yellow, he's going to edge out McCauley right here. Oh, we've got a crash. Donald Stewart crashes our first yellow of the night with 6 laps to go. McCauley, I think, is going to show in the lead once the yellow came out. But let's get a replay of what just shook up tonight's action. So watch Donald Stewart in that Remington back, number 78. Donald Stewart may have run out of gas. His last pit was on lap 67. I can't imagine he ran out of gas. What happened to the number 78 machine? We see smoke, and when there's smoke, there's fire. Did he blow the engine somehow? The front of the 78 looks pretty clean. I'll be honest, I'm not quite sure what could have let the smoke come out of that number 78 machine. And I'm not quite sure. I guess he's not quite able to make it to pit road before the engine let loose. But, oh, ladies and gentlemen, things have really shaken up here. So watch McCauley, watch Lee. Are they going to come to pit lane together? They've got to. They've got to come in together, take 4 tires, or at least 2 tires. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, things have shaken up so much between the race leaders. I mean, Matthew Lee was having the pace. Matthew Lee's going to show. No, they go back out. Who came in there? We got Chad Ross going in, Kyle Rochelle. That was 4th and 5th. Oh, this is going to get very, very exciting. Derek Fulton, the number 7, sponsored FEG PC machine. He gets his wave around. He's on the lead lap now. So this is going to be interesting. McCauley's going to be out front. Lee 2nd. Michael J. Johnson 3rd. Eric Parks 4th. Cale Seaman 5th. Jay Dargert moves his way up to 6th. The unknowns here, Kyle Rochelle, Chad Ross. McCauley and Lee hint like they're going to go into pit road. I don't think they're going to. I think they're just kind of messing with each other. Riding the apron, trying to save a little bit of fuel here. Chad Ross looks like he took 2 tires. Rochelle looks like he took 2 tires. So here bears the question. Does McCauley have more laps in reserve? He's going to have a clean track in front of him now, so no lap cars to worry about. Or did Matthew Lee save just a little bit better fuel wear? McCauley has tires that are 2 laps newer than Matthew Lee, but McCauley did have to push it very, very hard early on when he was battling for Jose Medina, Jay Dargert, who were trying to maintain their lap position, try and stay on the lead lap. For those guys, it looked like it worked. Dargert's moved up to 6th. He was running about 8th or 9th. But we see Derek Fulton come in, the number 7 machine. Fulton may, he got his lap back. He may be coming in for tires and saying, you know what? I might have a chance. Maybe not a win, but he's in 10th right now. Maybe be able to get back out there and at least bring home a top 5 with fresh tires. So guys with fresh tires we're going to have to watch. That's going to be Kyle Rochelle in 7th. Chad Ross in 8th. Derek Fulton is going to come back, I believe, and still maintain his 10th place spot. Had a 12.53 second pit stop, so it looks like he may have taken 2 tires in full fuel, which would be odd. Normally 4 tires is about that 14-second stop, so not quite sure what Fulton did to bring home or bring out a 12.5 second pit time on that one. But right now he is also our fastest Canadian, so I'm not going to question too much what he's got going on. He has a strategy and he's going to stick with it. But if you're watching along at home, let me know, who do you think is going to win this thing? Is it going to be McCauley currently up front? Is it going to be Matthew Lee, or is it going to be some of the underdogs here tonight? It's anybody's guess. I think it's going to be 3 to go once we cross the line. I think that might put us in green-white checker conditions here at Kentucky. Oh, I'm very excited to see what is about to transpire here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get ready to form them up 2 by 2. It'll be McCauley out front, Matthew Lee starting on the outside. Michael J. Johnson, it shows him in 3rd place. Not sure what he did to get up there. I've got no idea what's going to happen here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure if McCauley has the tire wear. We know he's got the clean track. He got slowed down a bunch following lap traffic, or soon to be lap traffic. We're going to stack them up 2 by 2. The entire field is ready to go. 10 drivers on the lead lap for a green-white checkered finish here at Kentucky. Is it going to be McCauley in the 62? Is it going to be Matthew Lee in the 04? Or it could be somebody else that finally gets their way up there. Pace car will be in this time by pace car is in. McCauley stacks up the field just a little bit. And away he goes. McCauley gets a great launch. Matthew Lee stuck in the high line. Here comes Michael J. Johnson. He's on the low line. Might be able to slow down Lee just enough here. Lee's riding the high side, trying to get the draft of Cody McCauley. McCauley with a great run. Your battle for second's extremely good. That's Michael J. Johnson going side by side with Matthew Lee. Matthew Lee shows, oh, another crash. That's Jay Dargert going around and around. Yellow flag is out. Jay Dargert with a huge crash. Matthew Curry involved. Chad Ross, carnage on the racetrack. Look at the number 57 on the inside of your screen here on the inside line. That's fan favorite Jay Dargert. We're going to see what happens. Kyle Rochelle also shows involved in that. Looks like he went just a little bit wide and maybe have gotten just a little bit of a tippy tip from Kyle Rochelle. Sends those two trucks around. Oh, and then things start stacking up as Dargert goes for a wild ride. Oh, that was spectacular. As far as crashes go, that was very bad. So we're going to watch this again. But we're going to watch from onboard with Mr. Jeffrey Radke. Radke had a bird's eye view going through this. To look very at the top of your screen, you see Dargert get spun. Not sure if he went high or what happened. But then we're going to watch Jeffrey Radke try and make his way around the parting of the trucks. There's people scattering everywhere. There's carnage on the back straight. So Radke does a good job getting through. Trucks, oh, look at the big air. Look at the 51 just getting collected in that as well. Radke might have had a little bit of damage on the left side of the truck, but for the most part kept it pretty clean. As we bring out, I believe that's our second caution of the night. Cautions breed cautions. But guys, do the race leaders have enough fuel to finish this race? Cale Seaman came out good on that number 17 machine. He's up to 4th place right now. Michael J. Johnson still sitting in 3rd. Eric Parks in 5th. Jose Medina 6th. Derek Fulton 7th. Josh Bonwell in 8th. Wow. I mean, we go from a very long green flag run to absolute carnage out here. So Cody McCauley had a great run there. He was looking primed to bring this thing home because Michael J. Johnson and Matthew Lee were battling side by side. So Matthew Lee was unable to get down to the low line. He was stuck 2 by 2. I can't believe how quickly things have been shaken up here tonight. So Josh Bonwell, he comes into pit lane. He's been taking very early strategies all early pit stop strategy all night, but it seems to be working all right for him despite having, I don't know, 4 or 5 pit stops so far. He's in 8th place on the lead lap. Bonwell might have had a little bit of damage as well. He was in there for 18.4 seconds, so maybe trying to slap some duct tape or some Flex Seal on that number 56 Chevrolet, get it back out there for the final sprint race of the night. Not sure how many green-white checker attempts we get here at the FEG PC Series, but we're going to re-rack them again. Very, very interesting race here tonight at Kentucky. It looked like it was going to be green all the way through. And then with about 10 to go, we had our first caution as someone blew up on the racetrack. And that restart, just drivers having a little bit of bad luck is what I would call it. I mean, from a broadcaster's point of view, it looked like a racing incident. Dargert might have went a little bit, started pushing up the racetrack. But I don't think the number 15 turned into him or dropped down low. So that was Dargert, the 57, and the 15, Kyle Rochelle, starting that initial incident, collecting several trucks. But we're going to re-rack them. Let's see, can Cody McCauley get another fantastic start? Michael J. Johnson did a fantastic job. Looked like he was poised for a second, and he's also throwing a monkey wrench in the plans of Matthew Lee. So McCauley on 2-lap older tires than Matthew Lee or Johnson. It looked like the new tire strategy kind of bit a lot of drivers in the rear end. The only person in the top 10 with the freshest set of tires, excuse me, 2 drivers. You got Derek Fulton pitted on lap 97, Josh Bonwell pitted on lap 102. So those guys are going out with fresh tires. They don't have any heat in them. They're not scuffed up yet. And it honestly takes about a lap to really get some heat in those tires. So those guys are going to be feeling very, very loose on the restart, and that could be what contributed to that second restart that resulted in the carnage. I guess first restart that caused the second caution, that's right. So McCauley gonna stack them up once more, gets the field behind him, gives it a go. Matthew Lee gets a little bit loose. Oh no, Matthew Lee's gonna try and take it 3 wide. Oh, that's not good for Lee. Michael J. Johnson clicks up into fast gear with a quickness. He's in second place. Matthew Lee behind. Eric Parks has moved up to 4th. It's going to be 2 laps to go. White flag will be out this time by. It's a 3-way battle for the lead. McCauley out front. Michael J. Johnson in tow. Matthew Lee 3rd. Can McCauley bring home the first win of the night? Maybe Michael J. Johnson with his first win. Or are both these drivers going to have problems? We've been seeing Matthew Lee dive to the low line. Look at that. Johnson goes very, very high. He gets shuffled out of McCauley gets shuffled high. He goes from 4th to 5th. Michael J. Johnson's out front. White flag is out. It is Michael J. Johnson up front. Matthew Lee in 2nd. Derek Fulton in the mix. Fulton's got fresh tires. Moves his way up into 2nd. Final lap. White flag is out. Can Fulton carry the speed around the backstretch? Can he edge out Michael J. Johnson? Here we go. It's a drag race. Johnson pushes him high. Maybe gets him to the wall a little bit. Oh, who's it going to be? It's going to be Derek Fulton at the line for the win. Michael J. Johnson 2nd and Matthew Lee 3rd. Who would have seen that one coming? Fulton with a spectacular move to come in for tires. Fulton in excitement throws it away after the checkered flag is out. What an absolute shakeup tonight. Who could have seen that coming? McCauley running in 1st, finished in 7th. I can't believe it. What a spectacular race. We're going to watch that pass for the lead here. So take a look. This is Derek Fulton and the FEG PC sponsored number 7 machine. Starts to edge out Matthew Lee. Makes a pretty clear pass of it. And then you can see right here, he's got the drive. He's got the new tires to get by Michael J. Johnson. So that's the pass to the lead right there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see, Derek Fulton with a well-deserved victory burnout. Looks like his truck may be partially in the air. We'll pretend he did that on purpose, though. He got a little bit of traction. So that's your current race winner, Derek Fulton. So we're going to try and get these guys up into the broadcast booth for their post-race interview. Man, what a spectacular race here tonight. I don't think I've ever seen a finish like that ever. That was spectacular driving from all of our athletes tonight. But we're going to get right now 3rd place finisher Matthew Lee. Matthew, what a spectacular race, man.
Yeah, the ending is a little disappointing, but, is what it is.
So, Matthew, I believe that is the winning streak broken for 2 series in a row now, but still, it's still a great run for Old Tires. Were you and Johnson communicating about tire wear at all, or is it every man for himself and hold it wide and see what happens?
It's definitely every man for himself. I tried starting in 1st gear that time because the leader had kind of been playing games on the restarts with speed and stuff, so I was just trying to get a jump on the field there and spun the tires a little bit, which it helped me get back down underneath Johnson, or behind him, and Derek got lucky with a call and cautions being in his favor, I guess.
Yep, cautions breed cautions. Fulton, he took a big gamble with new tires. It paid off, especially the looser truck. But do you have any different plans going into Pocono next week? I know it's a very weird raceway for a lot of drivers. I know from a broadcasting point of view it's going to be fantastic, but how do you feel being behind the wheel?
Extremely dominant there.
Excellent. Well, you heard it here first. Matthew Lee's going to try and regain that winning streak again. Matthew, always a pleasure seeing you up on the podium for the 4th week in a row, and I'll see you the next one, sir. Oh, actually, excuse me, Matthew. Before I let you go, anybody you'd like to thank out there?
Yeah, I got to thank all the guys at CGE, GTR Simulators, Martin Sports. Big shout out to them for everything they do. McConey Sit-Up Shop, Shenandoah Shine. You guys for the broadcast, Jeff putting on this league, and all the guys that running it.
Well, awesome. Always a pleasure, Matthew, and we'll see you next week, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, up next, we've got 2nd place, Michael J. Johnson. Johnson, one of your best finishes of the season. I know it's not the result you wanted, but how are you feeling with 2nd place tonight?
Kind of disappointed, but kind of happy at the same time. I had a mistake there on the first pit stop and got myself a little too far behind, and I don't know how the other guys were on fuel, but that last run I was about 2 laps to the good, so I was kind of hoping it would stay green there to see how it all worked out.
Yeah, such a long green flag run, punctuated by a couple of cautions. I know that threw a wrench in the plans of you and Lee that were on the same set of tires, but were the trucks still feeling all right at the end of that third run, or were you just extremely tight?
Yeah, I was just really tight with these fixed setups. Really not anything you can do except just slow down and make the turn.
Easier said than done, I reckon. But Johnson, I know that's going to help you out in the points just a little bit, kind of whittle away at that points lead that Lee has. How are you feeling going into Pocono next week?
Feel pretty good. I feel like Pocono is one of my better tracks, which I've not drove the truck there in a while, so I'm not sure if we'll be shifting or not. But if we are, that's even better.
All right, excellent. Always a pleasure, Mr. Johnson. Anybody you'd like to thank before we send you on your way tonight?
Yeah, I got all the guys that keeping it real esports and Circle B Diecast and Plan B Sales.
Well, awesome. That's second place finisher tonight, Michael Johnson. We'll see you next week, hopefully on the podium.
Thank you, sir.
And up next, the man of the hour, the man who took the gamble that paid off, Derek Fulton, our fastest Canadian, the number 7 Chevrolet. Fulton, how are you feeling right now, man?
I feel like I better drive down to the local convenience store and get a lottery ticket after this one because I think tonight's my night.
Yeah, I mean, cautions breed cautions. You took a huge gamble. I think you were starting, what, 9th or 10th on that final restart. Obviously, it took about a lap for the tires to come into your liking, but, man, once they did, you were a man on a mission.
I mean, I had a really late night tonight at work. I didn't get home till almost 8 o'clock, and just scrambling. I didn't even get a lap in, so I took the first run, just real easy, try to learn the track. It's been so long since I've been here. I was even asking the guys midway through the races, like, I don't know if I've ever been here before. I was trying to think, and then I remembered it's usually a night race, so that's why I was so out of place the whole time. It was a very odd night, and yeah, definitely just really lucky. Just got lucky with the strategy, but I made that gamble. I made my bed on 30 to go. I realized those guys were way too far out front. There was going to be no catching them at that point, so I had to do something to make a difference, and it worked out for us tonight.
Well, the gamble definitely paid off. You've beat your previous best finish of second place at Charlotte, and you're getting a lot of points rapidly here. I mean, still a long season to go. How are you feeling of trying to get in that points championship at the end of the season as this run develops?
Pretty good. I did miss a week, and I had a rough race, but I mean, I think we'll have enough time. It all depends on how it plays out. I got some great teammates over with the guys, so just excited to run this one out, hopefully get some more wins for the team, help them get a couple wins themselves, and that's the goal, really.
Well, Fulton, you dethroned Matthew Lee's winning streak. Before we let you go, anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank FEG PC and Phantom GFX. Pretty much those are the guys supporting me right now, so big thanks to them, and just big thanks to all my teammates there over on All Ball Racing. It's been a lot of fun since joining them. So it's been a ton of fun.
Well, awesome. Derek Fulton, always a pleasure. And, first time, I think, or no, second time we've had you in the podium booth this season, but hope to see more of you, my friend.
I'll plan on it, too. Hopefully we'll see you soon.
Awesome. Well, take care, Derek. We appreciate you.
Take care. You have a great night.
That was race leader, the underdog with a huge pit strategy gamble that paid off for the number 7, Derek Fulton. Lots of good racing tonight. A very long green flag, I believe about 90 laps of green flag runs before we had 2 cautions that punctuated the evening. But Fulton's going to finish up front. Johnson second, Matthew Lee third. Cale Seaman will be bringing home 4th, Jose Medina 5th, Josh Bonwell 6th, Cody McCauley 7th, Eric Parks will be 8th, Jeffrey Radke 9th, Joseph Burgess 10th, Matthew Curry 11th, Kenneth McCullough Jr. 12th, Stephen Page 13th, James Kaufman 14th, Chad Ross 15th, Jay Dargert 16th, Kyle Rochelle 17th, Donald Stewart 18th. Then you've got James Roth, Anthony Reiner, Josh Doobie, and TJ O'Haron rounding out the rest of the field here tonight, but a lot of great racing. As always, on behalf of FEGPC.net for hosting the Truck Series Monday nights, the Cup Series on Wednesday nights, I'm James East with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, always bringing the action, 1080p, 60 frames a second. We look forward to seeing you next week at Pocono, where it's going to be more good racing as we take 50 laps around the very, very tricky raceway, and we'll see. Can Mr. Fulton continue his streak here, or is Matthew Lee going to try and battle back for the throne? But I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are as well. As always, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week.